Welcome to Ladies Talking Business. I'm your host, Moremi, Akano. On this show, we break down the concept of business to its simplest form. Our guest today is Sandra Chukwudozie, the Chief Executive Officer at Salpha Energy. She once worked with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization as a sustainable development consultant with focus on clean energy and energy efficiency in industrial development for developing countries. She is a certified NLP Master Practitioner from the NLP Center of New York. She is passionate about creating and implementing business models for delivering off-grid solar solutions to communities and micro-enterprises in Nigeria. Happy to have you on the show today, Sandra. Well, Sandra is the hot cake. But for those who don't know why I call her the hot cake, you would find out very soon. But just before we go into that, let's have a bit of a background about the energy sector in Nigeria. What makes up the energy sector?
So very simply put, the energy sector is made up of all the industries that are involved in the production and sale of energy. Okay. And so, for example, you have fossil fuels, oil and gas, the extraction and the refining, which gives you, your petrol, your diesel, your LPG, and then you move down to electricity, actually. How do we generate electricity? How do we distribute? And how do we sell it? We also have renewable energy, which is a hot cake, to borrow your words. So that is, the solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, biomass. And what you've seen recently in current times is that the world is moving away from fossil fuels as a result of the fact that...
So when you say fossil fuels, that's like the regular thing we
use?
Yes,
exactly.
Okay.
So it's moving away from that, coming to clean energy, trying to make sure that we are not polluting and emitting these harmful gases into the atmosphere. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Okay. So talking about renewable energy.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how it works in Nigeria?
Okay, so let's talk about the energy mix, right? So you have biomass and hydro contributing vastly to the energy mix of Nigeria. And that's because biomass, you get it from, wastage of plants and animals. Your hydro, we have dams across Nigeria, so that's very easy. But now, solar is a fast-growing renewable energy just because of two main reasons. The first is that globally, the cost of solar panels are dropping significantly, and battery costs also are dropping significantly as well. But aside that, the beauty of solar is that it is decentralized. And what it means is that it can go to different locations across the country and provide power. Okay. So, for example, a rural customer who is in maybe a village, a farmer woman that is coming back home, that will use a kerosene lamp to power her house, or trek miles to go and charge her phone somewhere. You can give her a solution that can give her light in the house that is clean, charge her phone at her own affordable rates. And so that's why solar has grown really fast. And Nigeria right now, the policies in place, Renewable Energy Master Plan is helping to ensure that by 2030, 38% of our energy mix is being brought about by renewable energy. But implementation in that regard is a different story.
Implementation is always a thing in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you actually think that by 2030 for 2030 the projection is for how many percent? 38%.
38%.
So do you actually think that's possible?
So honestly, with the fact that we've ratified the Conference of Parties agreements, Paris Agreement, COP21, and there's a lot of funding coming in from overseas, I mean hundreds of billions of dollars coming into developing countries, I believe that we'll get there. I'm optimistic.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go. Okay, so this renewable energy sector, what influence does it have on the Nigerian economy?
Oh, wow. Honestly, okay, so for me, I'll probably go into this later, but what made me really fall in love with renewables is the fact that it has a promise that it offers. And that promise is that it's providing clean, affordable, reliable, sustainable energy for all. And I think it's really important to say this because if you look at the population, over 43% do not have access to reliable energy. It's a big deal. I mean, and let's break that down, right? It sounds, okay, 43 people, what does that mean? You have over 25 million households and 10 million SMEs that can't even have access to clean energy. So with that promise alone, it is like a transition to something new. And so with that, we're able to see that clean energy holds a promise for Nigeria.
Okay. So what impact will it have on the economy financially as well? Do you think it's going to be like a money maker for the economy?
So basically, let's go deeper with it, right? There are different industries that are going to be impacted. You have health, you have education, you have food security, and you have climate change, environment, and all that. But for me, the most exciting part of it is looking at food security. We know that right now inflation is high in Nigeria, and that's as a result of food. Farmers are producing lots of goods, but it's being perished during the way to the market. Why is that? We don't have cold storage for these foods. So how do we provide a solution that was going to help that industry avoid post-harvest loss? And that is through renewable energy. We have a lot of companies now offering cold storage across the nation. You bring in your produces, your vegetables, your fruits, your meat, and they store it in their cold storage units, and this helps actually reduce a lot of this wastage. You also have, for example, hospitals. We saw during the COVID-19 pandemic that a lot of primary healthcare institutions were not able to store vaccinations, weren't even able to carry on basic operations for pregnant
even lab
women.
tests was a problem carrying them out.
So like 2019 COVID period, like you saw a lot of solar companies actually leading the path, decentralized solar. They go into a primary healthcare service, they would deploy systems for them that would help them store their vaccines. And that really gave credence to the industry and showed that actually this energy industry is one that can actually take Nigeria to the next level. So honestly, I could go on and on. I could even go into education and tell you that right now, ICT in Nigeria is a problem because you don't have power to use your computers in the schools, right? So when you bring in solar, you have teachers who are able to have a more stable timetable to be able to teach these kids how to use computers, even helping them study late into the night. These are ways that solar is really bridging the gap. Trading, we know that this country, I mean, the backbone of this country is SMEs. So what is the issue that SMEs are having? It is around the cost of fueling. They are the ones that provide their own power, and it takes away the money that should be put into their profits to grow their businesses, to even, scale up in different parts of the country. But with solar energy, we're seeing that these people, for example, are able to save a lot of the funds that they waste on fueling and dieseling and all that.
Every time I have a guest here and I ask them for their main challenges in business, most times the first I get is power.
Absolutely. It's the one thing. Any household, any business is power. And that's why solar is here. So
while we are still talking about this renewable energy bit, how do you think we can push this further, especially with the kids, with people out there that are not even really learned, or would I say that are kind of semi-literate? How can we really push this solar narrative to them?
That's a very good question, because right now, like I said earlier, there are lots of policies in place that are trying to ensure that solar is being told to the general public. And it's important that we reach these people through the private sector. For example, a company like mine, what we do is that we go into remote areas. We meet with the farmers, the sole traders, and we speak to them about solar. Because for them, they feel like they are left behind. They rely on their kerosene lamps.
Their lantern.
Exactly. So we go there and we actually do a lot of product demonstrations. We show them how these products work, that they can actually help you, give you lights, charge your phone, even help you listen to the news, watch your TV. Some people, for example, in those areas do not even understand what it means to have solar energy. And the beauty now is that global organizations like the World Bank are coming in and saying to companies like mine, it's a very difficult task to go into these rural areas, but we will fund you. So go in there, deploy, show us you can do it, and we'll give you result-based financing that will help you continue to scale up. So I think with this kind of funding in place, we're actually going to be able to reach these people.
Amazing, Sandra. We'll talk more about it shortly. We will be back for more renewable energy conversations with Sandra after the break. I'm still here with Sandra Chukwudozie, the CEO of Salpha Energy. Now to why I call you the hot cake. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the $1 million investment deal.
It's a team effort.
That's why I said you're the hot cake. So let's talk about the investment deal. What problems are the funds going to cater to?
So the issue that I had initially founding the business was around product design, because Nigerian customers are very price conscious and they're also very aspirational. They want a system that can power their fridge, their freezer, their whole life, essentially. So we had to design products that catered to that, and we were successful because it gained traction within the Nigerian markets. Currently, we have over 350 distributors nationwide. And so the next challenge was that these products were selling out. How do we have enough capital to ensure that we're able to groom our current distributors, we're able to scale across Nigeria and also grow our workforce? And so with the funding coming in, it's going directly into that pent-up demand. We are aggressively going to scale up in different parts of Nigeria. We're going to reach more distributors. We're going to grow our sales team to be able to go into those rural areas and actually get those customers. And we're also going to go into these initiatives that the federal government too has already spoken about, which is the Nigeria Electrification Program funded by the World Bank and the Solar Power Nigeria Fund, which is CBN funded. And these programs are essentially pushing solar companies to see how they can localize the value chain. Are there components of the solar industry that you can actually bring into Nigeria and localize the panels, the batteries, the solar home systems? Can you go deeper and reach these customers and give them an entry-level cost that won't be too high for them? So these are areas that we're looking at. But most importantly is the workforce. We want to really harness the talents of Africa, and by doing that, it means that we need to bring in a lot of young, bright, intelligent men and women into our workforce and groom them to solve these energy challenges.
Okay, so talking about workforce and talking about, Nigeria, bringing in Nigerians and all, how do you source for your materials for production? Are they locally or do you have to?
So the beauty is that we've done two things. So first of all, it's internationally. So we bring in our solar home systems from Asia. Now we've been piloting the local assembly of our larger solar home systems. The larger ones mean the ones that can power your fan, your TV, your fridge, and your laptop. So those ones we source locally. We fabricate the metal in Nigeria. We source the wires, the bulbs, the batteries, and all that, and we make them. And the beauty is that it helps us have our systems near shore. So for example, with COVID-19 pandemic, there were issues around global supply chains. How do we bring these products in faster? There were so many delays, but with that, we're able to cut it short and make sure that we are just, not able to have those shocks to our bottom line.
Okay, so with this investment deal, what's your short-term, medium-term, long-term plan, to be able to utilize the funds properly?
Absolutely. So like I said, short-term to medium-term, it's aggressive expansion. We want to go into at least 15 states by next year. And so that would involve a hub and spoke method. So we'd roll out retail outlets, we'll roll out kiosks, small kiosks, those MTN kiosks you see in different parts of those off-grid areas. We'll grow our sales team. But most importantly, we need to look at the design of our products, which is going to be longer term. How do we produce products that help in other aspects of the industry? For example, agriculture. How do we produce products that help in the planting, the growing, the harvesting, and the storage of vital agricultural produces? And that is where we are looking at. So that funding is going to unlock more funding within our structure to be able to go in that direction.
Okay. Yeah. My next question, I think we've kind of touched on it earlier, I was going to ask how long it take Nigeria to get into the renewable energy space. But seeing that you've been in this for a while, I want to know some of the challenges you faced. Especially from Nigeria.
Wow. The biggest challenge that I faced actually, I guess let's start with the team. It was, first of all, I started in 2017, right? And then solar, yes, it was still proliferated, but it wasn't the way it is right now. And so it's bringing that team to say, you know what, we want to start a solar energy business and we want to give back to people who are furthest behind. It's people saying, okay, we're used to oil and gas. What is solar? Can it work? so I should leave my job and come into solar. And so as a founder, it was me, teaching and showing that actually this could be a chance to blaze a new trail, to build your legacy of how you want to help Nigeria. And I really was able to educate them on, I worked at the United Nations in New York, so I brought in a lot of that understanding, and I was able to teach my team how to begin to appreciate this new form of energy. But aside that, internally, externally, solar visibility is a challenge, honestly. You go to markets like Alaba, Idumota, Sabongari in the north, and you're presenting these products, and people are saying, what is this? They're saying, this is solar, right? What's it be this? I beg, drop this thing, it's too expensive. And so you're teaching them that actually, petrol generators, diesel, yes, we can't avoid them, but we need to transition into something cleaner. Convincing them by providing systems that are cheaper, that they can actually embrace and say, okay, you know what, we buy into this vision. Those were the key challenges that I faced growing the business. And that's why it's a big deal for us to raise this fund, because it just shows that we have crossed a particular milestone. We have gained traction, the team is growing, people understand what we're doing, and it's a really proud moment for us.
It is, and I'm so proud of you, especially as the lady, driving it, being at the forefront. Well done.
Thank you.
When you were talking about challenges you faced, when you're talking about Alaba and all, I just had a picture in my head. You trying to actually explain to these people.
Let me give an example. They're seeing this girl with her blonde hair. Now I have a Nigerian accent. Then I was, speaking this UN grammar. And they're like, Madam, I beg, clear road, go go to your office, so.
I can only imagine, Sandra. We will go on a short break. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us on Ladies Talking Business. We have been having conversations with Sandra Chukwudozie, the CEO at Salpha Energy. All right, Sandra, so I know you've been at the UN.
Yeah.
Congrats on that as well. Doing, different things at the United Nations. And I know you actually got into some form of mentoring program over there. So for somebody who has received mentorship from renowned, outstanding professionals at the United Nations, what impact, or should I say, what are the benefits of mentorship on a professional and a business person?
Thank you for that question. I love that question so much. So for me, I'll just give a bit of background. I started off wanting to go into the oil and gas space because, my family business is focused on oil and gas. And so I did my master's in oil and gas. Coming to the United Nations, a big privilege. I was exposed to mentors who were able to teach me to appreciate clean energy, solar energy. And it wasn't just them teaching me about solar energy, but it was them speaking to me as somebody who mattered. They would say things like, I'm seeing you as a future of Africa. I see your talent, your potential, and I believe that you have a place in your country, say. These things may sound small, but they build confidence. They teach you that you matter. And that was something I learned from them. My voice mattered, I was heard. We had lots of, mentorship programs. Women were coming to me and telling me that, I had to speak about certain things. I was 23 at the time. I was quite shy. I was smart, but I was quite shy. But then the main point of mentorship is that you're having confidence building, because as a young person, you have self-doubt. What have you done? You've gone to school, you've passed, but what can you do in the professional space? So having those kinds of people believe in you and, teach you about where the world is going is very important. And coming back to Nigeria, I won't underemphasize the need for professional mentorship, because this climate is a very tough one. The ease of doing business here is ridiculously tough. I came back in 2017, a very tough time. Exchange rates went close to 500 naira per dollar. I was just blown away. I was thinking to myself, is this the right move? But having impact investors like like the US African Development Fund, that are able to take companies such as mine from that seed ideation stage, you know, giving them the infrastructure. How do you structure your finances? How do you structure your workforce? How do you structure your social media and, you know, public facing activities? These kinds of things are very important because we lack that in Nigeria. And so I'd say for any young person in my stage or earlier than my stage of development, you need to attach yourself to mentors that are going to help you flesh out that vision. People who are for you. Don't go to people who are telling you, no, this is not going to work, because there are lots of naysayers. You need to align yourself to the right people.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Sandra. So how has being a female in this sector been? So has it been an advantage for you, or has it been stressful? How has it been?
Honestly, I tell everyone that I'm a spirit on a mission. Wow. I don't see myself in any gender. I just see myself as someone that is here to achieve. So if there are 20 men or 15 ladies, I'm just here as my own presence. And I guess it's because I grew up in a very entrepreneurial household where, I mean, it's business, Igbo family, manufacturing, real estate, oil and gas. So at that early age, I was able to go around the offices, see what they were doing, ask questions. Very naughty child I was, but we have changed now. So, you know, I was given a seat at the table. My parents told me, look, you're going to make an impact in this company. And for a young person, and this is like 3, 4, 5 years old, so I was already given that voice. I could make an impact. My mom at the time was 25, managing about 6, 7 companies. Wow. So my
just grew into it. So
yeah, I really grew into it.
I need to make money and do stuff.
So that really helped me, because now I see a lot of women, you know, across different employment, mine and externally, that are facing this challenge of, oh, I'm a woman and I feel held back. I'm saying, no, you don't need to feel held back. You have so much to offer. Don't see yourself as from your point of view of your gender lens, you know. So I give women a chance in my organization. For example, in my company, over 75 women are employed, directly and indirectly. And we're doing that to ensure that we are catching them young and we're giving them a space to evolve and give their talents. So I think for me, it's been a smooth ride for now.
It's been a smooth ride. Wow, wow, wow. Like, I'm so impressed, Sandra. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask, you know, dealing with people in Nigeria, dealing with not just human beings, corporations. Tell us about it. How has it been?
Okay, so that's a very good question. Let me just say this story. I haven't really said this before. The biggest challenge that I faced outside of starting my business was trying to bring in this idea of renewable energy. So for example, in the corporation that I work in, that is oil and gas focused, there's a challenge of, you know, bringing in ideas to transition to clean energy, right? That was a big challenge for me. And in Nigeria, these are challenges that young people are going to face. How do we shake up the status quo? How do we have our voice, and how do we show that there's a new way of doing things? Because in this country, a young person is seen as, you don't have experience, what do you know? You don't have funding, your voice doesn't matter. And so for me, it's been quite rocky and it's been challenging, but I think that challenge has actually helped me to build what I have now. A company that is focused on helping young people to actualize their dreams. That is the goal of Salpha Energy. Outside of the product, I want to reach these young people wherever they are. Come and join this company. Let us make Nigeria a better place. And it gives me joy when I see my team growing, when I see them learning and, you know, giving testimonials. I just feel like I have impacted lives. You know, that's a joy for me.
It sure is, Sandra. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
And we wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for watching Ladies Talking Business today. Do join us this same time next week for another episode. Don't forget to follow us on PlusTvAfrica Lifestyle on YouTube to catch up with our programs. I am Moremi Akano. Bye for now.